Critical hit Punch All Nazis takes place in the early days of World War II and combines high adventure with cosmic horror. All dates, locations, and historical events are thrown out the window in order to create a fun story, so don't put too much thought into historical inaccuracies. All accents are done poorly, but with love, and no disrespect is intended. Last time
on Critical Hit.
Ahmed, you've brought us those who wish to make an offering to our order.
Do y'all really want to bring swords to a gunfight?
Shouldn't have come in with a pretty character. Steven's going to make sure you're completely deformed by the time we're done.
So he marches everybody off in a wagon and takes you all off to the local constabulary. The sun begins to set over the city of Cairo as you exit the police station. The police took down all of your information and pointed you in the way. They pointed you in the direction of the Cafe of Kings. They are holding nothing against you. They do caution you that weapons are something that are not necessarily illegal, but certainly frowned upon. But under the circumstances, they are going to allow you to keep your weapons, considering that you were attacked. And who knows, this gang may have other members roaming the city and may now have a hit out on you.
Sure, well, that's promising.
Yeah. Dutch, you were everybody was kind of allowed to clean themselves up a little bit. So if you had blood and guts all over you, you can wash it out. You don't get a change of clothes. So any blood stains on your clothes are going to kind of stick around. But you make your way to the Cafe of Kings. It is a we'll say it's a 2-story establishment. It's done in stone and plaster on the outside. It's brown. It's got a nice heavy door to get into the place. Above it, there is a sign that says the Cafe of Kings. There are 2 windows on the side with a little awning sticking out. The streets are still very much bustling and running around. Are people trying to get where they're going in the evening? It certainly smells more like dinner time as more food smells waft through the streets than the smells of animals on their way to and from market, or in this case, perhaps to the dinner plate. And again, you still see signs all over the place as you make your way to the Cafe of Kings, advertising the performance of the great Nate O. You enter the Cafe of Kings, which is a lively establishment. It's buzzing with activity. The air is thick with conversation, clinking of glasses. There's a mix of expats from many countries that are in the room. Most of them British, though, although you do see people that you probably recognize. Maybe there's an American over there. Maybe there's someone from not a Middle Eastern country or a North African country in the place. But you see a mix of shady characters as well, gamblers and maybe spies are intermingled among the crowd, adding to an air of intrigue and mystery to this entire establishment. There are sound of whispers and laughter as secretive deals blend together as the patrons engage in wheeling and dealing, each person eager to advance their own schemes. Everybody can roll me a observation plus insight.
Ooh. Oh, I thought I was good at this. I'm only good at half of it.
Okay. Well, you can choose not to roll if you don't want to. But
crud. My bad. Sorry.
You got 3 successes, so that's good.
Oh, dang. What success?
1 success. That's all you need. 2 successes. All right. So you guys build up some momentum. So 1, 2, 3 successes over. So
I think technically Matthew spent a momentum because he rolled 3 dice.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Well,
my bad.
Only get 6. Yeah,
Sorry about that.
as you
I
enter,
say you didn't waste it, so
yeah,
True.
as you enter the establishment, everyone goes quiet for a moment and looks at you before they return back to their wheelings and dealings. And as you scan the room, you spot a man sitting at a corner table. His eyes are darting about as he carefully surveys the room. This is probably the person that you are supposed to meet, Rusty Stowe. In fact, he sees you and he breaks out into a big, broad grin and waves you over.
We'll walk over to where he is.
He stands up. There you are. I've been expecting you. I'm Rusty, the man who can find whatever you need. He extends his hand to each of you, and he gives you each a very firm handshake. So glad that you're here. I was really kind of expecting you a day or so ago.
We've run into some complications here or there. Is he American?
It's hard to tell. He seems to have a mix. Yeah, he's definitely white. He has got a mix, but he's very tan from being in the sun.
Sure.
So his skin is very, very dark and dark reddish color. But his accent kind of jumps between maybe an Australian or an English accent and a little bit of American. It's really hard to place where he's from, but he seems very much in line with what's going on. I've been contacted by Brigadier Fennessy, and he informed me that you're headed into the desert to investigate some German dealings. And he says that with the air quotes. The Brigadier and I go way back. We were in the Great War together, so I know what he means when he says German dealings, but he didn't provide any details except you were headed west. I have an idea of what you'll need, but if there's anything else you need, you let me know. I'm your man.
Well, we are looking for this, and I'll show him like whatever paper we've managed to get on like the City of the Dead. Probably like Jacob's, like a photostatic of the Jacob's entry.
I see. The Forbidden City, yes. And at that moment, a very rugged man starts walking over to you. He exudes this air of confidence. He's wearing, tan pants, a linen shirt with a brown leather jacket. He's got a brown hat on. He carries himself with a lot of swagger, and his eyes constantly seem to be sparkling with excitement. And he comes up to the table and kind of flashes Rusty a knowing grin. And he said, "I'm sorry, did I hear you talking about the Forbidden City? Oh, everyone, let me introduce you to Monty Smith. Monty Smith is an explorer. I'm an archaeologist. Monty and I have crossed paths on many occasions, and I've had the pleasure of also outfitting him for his expeditions. Valentino, please roll me an Insight plus Academia D1.
Okay.
One success. Very good. You recognize the name Monty Smith. You know from the academic side that you have seen the name Montgomery Smith show up in a few journal articles, mostly, though, about Greek and Roman studies. But your journalist side is familiar with the name and some artifacts that he has uncovered in the past, and he's been in headlines before.
Hey, Mr. Smith, I've seen some of your work before. Although I was under the impression that you specialize more in the Greco-Roman interests.
Oh, I go where adventure needs me, and right now it's here.
Yeah, well, I think, it'd be great to have you along.
Oh, all right. He kind of looks at you a little bit weird, and Rusty's like, where's Sanjay? And Monty looks around and he settles his gaze on a young boy standing at the bar. He appears to be attempting to strike up a conversation with a very well-dressed woman who clearly outclasses him. And Monty just puts his fingers in his mouth and blows a really loud whistle, which causes the bar to become quiet for just a moment. Sanjay, get over here. And he looks back at you. Sorry, Sanjay's a bit of a dreamer. He's always reaching for the stars. Good lad, though. Got a good eye for detail and has a lot of potential. Yeah. He's got a real knack for getting us out of jams. Just make sure you keep a close eye on your wallet, both around Sanjay and around the city, because there's a lot of people that want to take advantage of new additions like you in this city, either by sleight of hand or by assault.
I've heard that.
We've discovered.
Oh, you have you? What happened? And at this point, Sanjay wanders over. He looks to be about 16 years old. He also looks to be of Indian descent, but he's kind of dressed like Monty. He's chewing loudly on some gum. Yes. They're headed west into the desert. And he again laughs. So you're headed for the fabled Forbidden City. I'll admit, I've considered that place to be more of a myth than reality. Let me guess. You've been reading Dr. Jacob's diary, right? Man, if I had $1 for every pack of adventurers who were looking for the Forbidden City, I'd be a very, very rich man. And Sanjay's like, yeah, very rich.
So you don't think it's real, or?
Oh, no. Dr. Jacobs has been telling this story for years, and he looks around the bar. In fact, I think he's probably here. And he points to a man sitting at the end of a bar, a very, very old man who is currently talking with a younger woman with strawberry blonde hair. He goes, yeah, there's Dr. Jacobs. Old Coot's probably in his 90s by now. His memory's kind of fading, but his stories are still legendary around these parts. He's probably regaling that woman about his adventures in hopes of getting a free meal and a drink tonight. What's this about trouble that you guys had?
Have you heard of a clan called the Cult of, or what was it? Something of the Crystal Skull.
The Order of the Crystal Skull?
Order of the Crystal Skull, yes.
Monty's eyes go really wide. And he looks at you. You've run into these?
Yeah. We had the displeasure.
And he looks at Dutch and he sees the blood all over. I take it that's not yours?
The dye job isn't.
Uh-huh. You know, there's a treasure I've had my eye on, and it's a lot closer than the Forbidden City. See, it's located in a small village just west of Cairo. There's this artifact. It's described as a skull carved out of a priceless blue crystal, rumored to bestow incredible powers upon its owners. And he pulls out, he's getting very excited now, and he pulls out this tattered map and he spreads it onto the table and he starts pointing. He goes, the village is situated here. It's kind of hidden in the dunes. There's apparently an abbey or a temple of some sort, and the priests of the temple do everything they can to keep people away. With the right approach and a little luck, we together could recover that crystal. And who knows? Maybe then I might help you in your search for this Forbidden City. And then Sanjay is like, yeah, it's said that the crystal was formed centuries ago from the tears of a goddess, and whoever possesses it is granted the ability to control the elements and harness unimaginable power. Calm down, Sanjay. What do you think? You guys look like you are capable. Maybe we can work together to recover the skull. And then we can reassess where we're at and decide if we want to venture further west into the desert to this Forbidden City.
Dutch will look at the others and say, I think that sounds like a good idea.
Good. Well, Rusty, then you better outfit 2 more people for this party. Yes, sir. So, and then he leans forward. You guys want to hear about the Forbidden City?
Sure.
And he looks at Sanjay and kind of gives him a wave, and Sanjay goes running off to the end of the bar and taps Dr. Jacobs on the shoulder and is saying something to him. They're just kind of exchanging, discussions back and forth. The strawberry blonde woman seems rather annoyed, and she looks over at your table in a little bit of maybe disgust or irritation. And finally, this old rickety man gets up and he starts walking over there. Sanjay's kind of assisting him and gets over to the table where you're at. Sanjay pulls up a couple of chairs for Dr. Jacobs and also this woman, and he sits down. Oh, I hear that you want to also hear about the Forbidden City. Well, just like this young girl, it's my night to tell you the tale. He kind of just looks at everybody. What is it that you want to know? And the woman's like, oh, Dr. Jacobs, please, come, let's go back and I can get you a nice meal. Hello, I'm Lizelle Bohm.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Monty Smith. Oh, nice to meet you. And she shakes hands. I'm Rusty. Rusty shakes her hand as well. And she kind of just politely looks at the rest of you like maybe some introductions are in order.
I'm Dutch. There's Valentino.
Hi. And she kind of, when she sees you, she kind of brushes her hair back and puts it behind her ear. Hello.
That's Doc. And of course, Bug Eater, our wheelman.
Hiya.
Yeah. I'm a student at the University of Zurich, and I'm here to find out a little bit more about the Forbidden City, and I was hoping that I could pick Dr. Jacob's brain and get a little bit more knowledge before I head out into the desert. See, somebody owes me $1.
Well, great. We're also here to learn about the Forbidden City, so let's all sit down and enjoy some tales.
At that moment, the door to the bar opens, and 3 gentlemen wearing black enter. They have, in addition to just wearing black clothing with these black leather trench coats in Egypt of all places, you also notice that on their lapel is a wolf paw pin. And at that moment, Lizelle turns quickly away from those men, acting a little nervous. The 3 men in black are scoping out the bar, and then finally you hear, "You! Get out! We do not allow your kind here!" Everybody can roll me an observation plus insight.
1 success.
Good. That's all you need. D1.
1 success.
Okay. Let's go. We got 2 successes there, so you get another point of momentum.
I got 1 success.
And Carlos gets 1 success. As the bartender, the tavern owner, or the cafe owner is yelling at them and the room becomes quiet, you guys look around and you see that several patrons near you are starting to pull out pistols from their pockets. Monty lowers his head and lowers his hat over his eyes, and you hear Sanjay mutter, "Nazis. We hate these guys." Because the room is silent and everybody except for Lizelle and Monty are staring at these Nazis. The Nazis look around the room and it's very quiet. And it's very clear that they're going to have no say or sway in this establishment. And so they just kind of all nod at each other and exit the cafe, closing the door behind them with a very loud slam. It takes a moment, but you can kind of feel like a sigh of relief being let out in the bar as people start drinking and talking and laughing again. Oh man, there have been a lot more sightings of Nazi agents in Cairo and out in the desert. I really fear they're trying to gain a foothold in North Africa. I wish they would just stay in Europe. What was that again? Lizelle is like, it's nothing, Doctor, nothing. You were telling us about the Forbidden City. Ah, the Forbidden City, also known as the Dead City. I was much younger when I ventured into the unforgiven desert, searching for truth hidden behind legend. He looks at Blisco point blank. Do you know the story?
Which story, sir?
The story of my adventure.
Know some of it.
What do you know?
You've been looking for the Forbidden City for some time.
Looking for the city? I found the city.
Then I have been misinformed. Would you care to let us know?
Of course. And he looks around and looks at Monty and just gives him a very long stare, dead in the eye. Long before my journey, travelers came from the north, seeking refuge from those who sought harm to them. They bore with them an artifact of great power, which they believe could be kept safe within the city walls. Yet their presence in the city only brought about its doom. Within a day and a night, the desert consumed the Forbidden City. A relentless sandstorm swallowed the inhabitants, leaving only death and desolation in its wake. And he turns to Doc, and he looks at you with a crooked finger kind of shaking. Or so it seemed. There are stories that say some of the people did not perish. Instead, he lowers his voice, they became something different. And the candles on the table flicker a little bit. They now serve as a ghastly reminder of the city's terrible fate, wandering its cursed streets for all eternity. There's also a whisper of a tribe of descendants who came to the city with the artifact, who have taken it upon themselves to guard the city's forbidden secrets. It's said that they are relentless in their efforts to keep the treasure seekers at bay, though I never ran into them. Instead, it's the horrors of the city that keep everything undisturbed.
What do you mean by horrors?
He's smacking his lips a little bit. It's so dry in the desert.
I'll signal for a round of drinks.
Yes, very good, and kind of pats you on the shoulder. A moment later, a man arrives with drinks. It's some kind of a clear alcohol. Could be vodka. Could be something else.
Could be gasoline.
Could be gasoline.
Probably gasoline, honestly.
You all take a sip of your drinks. It is indeed vodka.
Risk.
My journey, you understand, was fueled by ambition. I refused to listen to the warnings from the locals. I gathered a team and we plunged into the desert, but we were unprepared for what was waiting for us. He looks at Blisco. Did you drink all your drink down?
Probably not.
He looks at you and then looks kind of down at your drink.
Start drinking more.
Oh, he kind of looks sad.
Oh.
I'll give him my drink. I can't stand vodka.
He smacks his lips and drinks it down. You know, the Forbidden City is sold to hold untold riches, artifacts, immense power, and relics of civilizations long forgotten. And you see Lazelle's eyes just kind of light up when she hears about ancient artifacts and relics and power. Oh, go on, Doctor. Please tell us more. Oh, yes, dear. And he pats her on the arm. We traveled the desert for weeks, searching for this infernal city. The searing heat, the chilly nights. Our supplies dwindled with each passing day. It wasn't until we stumbled upon an ancient map that we finally found the city. Hidden beneath the sand. Seems like the desert did swallow the city. We searched and searched, and we were ecstatic when we finally discovered the city's entrance, but our relations soon turned to dread as we descended into the shadowy depths of the buildings beneath the sands. The tales of twisted creatures. Something of truth about that. It's not something we believed at the time, but something sinister did lurk down there in the darkness. Strange, twisted creatures beyond description began to haunt our every step. The air was thick with their presence, and our own sanity began to unravel. One by one, my companions succumbed to the terror. Some lost their minds. Others vanished to the shadows, never to be seen again. And the artifact that I was looking for, the cursed object that we sought, whispered to me in the darkness, twisting my thoughts, twisting all of our thoughts, driving us to the brink of madness. I was the only one to escape the city. A band of travelers found me and brought me back here. I recovered and wrote my diary and published it, and I told people the truth, and they laughed at me. They laughed at me. I will prove them wrong. I will. No, you must stay away from the Forbidden City. There's evil there. It will consume you, body and soul. It's a place where even the bravest men have fallen, brave men that I knew. Their dreams of glory were crushed by everything there countered. He looks at you, Dutch. Do not be seduced by the lure of adventure or the promise of uncovering lost secrets. The price is far too great. And he seems to be done with his story. Lizelle reaches over and pats him and kind of squeezes his hand, and he kind of snaps. He feels like he snaps out of this trip down memory lane. Yes. Oh, hello, dear. Are we going to go have dinner? Yes, Dr. Jacobs. Yes, we were. Perhaps you can tell me more about the Forbidden City. The Forbidden City. He looks around at all of you. Have you heard of the Forbidden City? It's often called the Dead City. I found the Dead City once. Would you like to hear my tale? And Lizelle is like, no, Doctor. They're not interested in your tale. Only I am truly interested in what the Forbidden City holds. Oh, okay. Well, it was nice to meet all of you. And he pats Rusty on the shoulder. Rusty, it's good to see you again. And she leads him away. Whew. That's one hell of a tale. You know, I've heard my share of legends and folklore, but Doc sure does take the cake. I think everybody and his brother has gotten a copy of Doc's diary and read it. And as I said, if I had $1 for everybody who wanted to go out and find the Forbidden City themselves, I'd be rich. No offense, gentlemen, but all of this sounds like fanciful ghost stories to keep the curious folks like us from whatever it is that he found out there. I'm not saying I don't believe that he encountered something in the desert, but there's always an explanation for these things. Lost cities, hidden treasures, secret societies. They're the stuff of pulp novels and dime store comics. I've been all over the world, and let me tell you, every place has its share of tall tales. And you guys look at Sanjay, and he's kind of nodding in agreement, but there's something about Dr. Jacob's story that kind of has him looking a little peaked.
Our interest is, aside from the fact that we are by now starting to become seasoned adventurers, our interest is not adventure. Our interest is to keep certain things out of the hands of, and he like sort of motions to the front door, which is, you know, where those guys were. Is like keep certain things out of the hands of our unwelcome guests.
Oh, yes, I agree, says Sanjay. He punches his fist into his hand. We hate Nazis. Yeah.
Good.
Look, I'm all for adventure. And if there's something dangerous lurking in that city, then I might be interested in a little bit about that. Listen, I'm a archaeologist. I just want to uncover the truth and put all these crazy legends to rest once and for all. And then Sanjay says, and also we want fame and fortune. That's right, kid. Fame and fortune.
Well, how about you give us the details on the exploration that you want us to, or the site that you want us to come with you to, and we'll see about getting outfitted through Rusty, and we'll figure it out.
I think I know exactly what you boys need. Yeah, why don't you all sit here and confess amongst yourselves, and I'll go see what I can scrounge up. Are you staying somewhere?
Presumably.
Okay, well, there is rooms upstairs.
Okay.
Just speak to the...
And this place is relatively safe, you find?
And he kind of looks at you and laughs. As safe as anywhere in Cairo.
Okay.
All right, listen. And he pulls out this map and he spreads it out again. It's about a day and a half journey from here. I figure the 6 of us could probably make it in. There's a temple, an abbey, a monastery, something here. And he kind of points. It's a very rough map of this village. And so it's kind of hard to really see what this is. This is probably something that was handed down via a hand-me-down, or either it was described. The layout of the city was probably described in a certain way, but it's just kind of scratched down very hurriedly. So it's not like you have a complete detailed map of all the city streets or anything like this. Mm-hmm. But I think if we get there and we come in under the cloak of darkness, we can scope out the city. And then we can see what is the best approach to getting to this monastery. Now, listen, I have heard, and Sanjay starts to lean in close. I've heard that this relic, this crystal, has been there for 500, 600. And Sanjay says, I think it was 1,000. Maybe even 1,000 years. And the monks or the priests worshipped it. But the story goes that it also corrupted them. And I don't know what that means. I've only heard tales and stories. I've not really met anyone but 1, 2, and he counts on his hand, 3 guys who have ever come from that village. So we're going to have to fly by the seat of our pants. And Sanjay is like, that's just how we like it.
I mean, our plans never go off properly, so might as well.
So what did you think of the doctor's story? Pretty crazy, huh?
I've heard crazier.
Yeah? Like what? And he motions for a round of drinks. He motions for a round of drinks to be brought over. We've got time.
Have you ever heard?
This time the waiter brings over what looks like whiskey or bourbon, something brown.
Have you ever heard of Dr. Herbert West?
West.
Miskatonic University.
Oh, Miskatonic University. Yeah. Oh, it's been what, like 25 years? This guy is kind of legendary when it comes to students that have kind of gone off the deep end, right? I mean, I was maybe 10 years old when those events happened. And if you give him a good look over, he looks to be like in his late 30s. He's definitely older than everyone at the table. Yeah. What was that? Some mumbo jumbo about bringing the dead back to life. Is that it?
That's it.
Yeah, you hear all sorts of those stories here, especially in the desert.
Oh, I've more than heard it, my friend. I've seen it.
You've seen bodies come back to life.
I've seen it as recently as yesterday, but I saw it first with West himself.
Let's clarify a little bit, Matthew. You've never met West, and you've never seen. The only thing you've read.
He doesn't know that.
And he looks at you and goes, yeah, he looks at you and says, you're way younger than I am. You would never have met Dr. West.
Fine. Be that way.
It's a good story. And he pats you on the back.
I've read it
Drink
myself.
Up. And he drinks his alcohol down.
All right. When do you want to do this?
Oh, we should probably leave in the morning. Sanjay and I have to go and gather our surveillance gear.
Yeah.
And then Sanjay's like, he means guns and bombs.
Okay.
One thing, Monty. You said if we help you, you'll think about taking us to the Forbidden City?
Of course.
I'd like you to more than think about it.
Well, we have to get this treasure first.
And if we do, you will take us.
We'll see. We'll think about it.
If we do...
Doc, It's all right. There's room for renegotiation after this.
Okay, whatever you say.
Let me get my companions a room. I think we're all getting a little cranky after we started drinking, had absolutely nothing in our stomachs after being attacked by a gang. So
Yeah.
I think we all need some rest.
Brigands.
Okay.
Yes, brigands.
Well, that sounds good. How about we meet here in the morning? Come on, Sanjay. He shakes all of your hands.
Yep.
Shakes Doc's hands, grips a little harder, and looks him in the eye. And we'll think about it. And then he leaves the cafe with Sanjay. Sanjay turns around and he gives you a little nod, like a mean mug nod as they leave.
I don't trust
Doc
that
to
guy.
smile and shake my head.
That's fine, but the artifact that he was talking about is in the Rhine, the one that he wants to get.
It is?
Yes.
Wait, what was the rhyme? I don't remember that one at all.
One to control the elements.
Oh, man, you're right.
I guess we hadn't really talked about, like, what are we going to do with all of these? Are we trying to gather them all, or are we just trying to keep them out of Nazi hands?
Right.
Right? It's like,
I mean,
presumably...
one leads to the other.
I have
Yeah.
a suspicion that once you start collecting them, things may show you what you need to do.
Well, that would be fine, although I'm sure it'll be also horrifying. But what I'm saying is, if Smith takes that item and, takes it back to the US, like, that would keep it out of Nazi hands. Do we need to get all of these?
Maybe we need to ask our superiors.
Yeah.
Which ones?
We've made contact with Rusty, so I need to give him a call anyway. Unless you guys want to call him.
Nah, you seem to be doing a pretty good job as point man.
All right, I'll do it. Let's get a room. Or a couple rooms at least.
Yeah.
Okay. So you go up to to somebody who looks like the owner of the establishment. He's wearing a white jacket, black bow tie, smoking a cigarette, black pants. He sees you approach. Ah, boys. Seem to have taken an interest in old Doc Jacobs, huh?
Sure.
Tells a good yarn.
Yeah, he does. He's in here every night telling his old story again and again and again to anybody who will buy him a drink or a meal. What can I do for you?
Well, they actually recommended that we stay here. We're passing through.
Oh, who recommended?
I believe Rusty did.
Rusty? Rusty Stowe? Oh,
Yeah.
What kind of trouble are you guys into?
Oh, nothing of the kind. We just have some mutual acquaintances.
Nothing to do with those Nazis that came in earlier, is it?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Me of your enemy?
So do you need a couple of rooms?
Yeah, that would be best.
Okay. And he leans over to a cigarette girl who's passing by, whispers something into her ear, and she nods her head and wanders off. She'll get a couple of rooms for you. In the meantime, I'm Jack Kings.
Shake his hand.
Yeah.
Dutch, Valentino, Bug Eater, Doc.
What do you boys set up for entertainment?
I don't know. We really, it's been kind of a whirlwind getting here, so we hadn't really thought much about that.
Well, it's early. You need to do something in Cairo. You guys should go check out that great NATO show I hear everyone talking about.
Yeah, I think we should. We saw some of the posters.
Oh, they're all over the place. I'm trying to stay away from it myself. I've seen my share of charlatans and tricksters. Now, I hear this guy's claims are pretty great, and it looks to be a pretty awesome show from what people talk about, but go in with a little bit of skepticism, okay? Don't get too taken in by this.
Oh, always.
Okay. The girl comes back. Their rooms are ready. And then he's like whispers into her ear again. Okay. Follow me, gentlemen.
Good to meet you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yep.
Before we run off, I'll probably slide some monies over, and it's like, I think Jacob's had plenty of drink tonight. Maybe make sure he gets a meal.
Yeah, that's mighty Christian of you.
Us academic types got to look out for each other.
Oh, okay. And you see him put the money in his pocket as you guys walk off and follow the woman upstairs.
Uh-huh.
She leads you to a couple of rooms upstairs. It's just one long hallway with rooms on either side. At one point, she stops and points out where the washing area is, so that you guys can clean up, use the bathroom, whatever that you need. Then she leads you down to the very, very end of the hallway and to two rooms across the hallway from each other. And these rooms are almost identical, but they're just kind of reverse from one another. So on the hallway to the right, or the room to the right, you would go in from the left side. On the door, or the room to the left, you go in on the right side. It's just a flip, but you go in and there's a couple of beds in there. There is a wash basin, with a pitcher. There is a towel that is next to that. There's a nightstand and there is a lamp and a phone in each of the rooms, and a small wardrobe for hanging up any clothes that you may need to hang up. But other than that, it is a spare, bare bones room. There's not even any art on the walls.
Okay. Window, you said?
Yeah, there is a window that looks out onto the street below.
Okay.
Do any of us have anything other than the clothes on our backs?
We probably managed to pack something on the way out, but yeah, pretty much nothing, or not that much.
Yeah, pretty much nothing.
I would say, would we have gotten anything on the way out? Like,
you didn't get.
We were coming back into the hotel when we
started getting shot at.
Yeah. You may have one change of clothes that Clark Gable bought you when you were arrived in.
That's true. We did spend a while in Monaco, so
you spent a couple of days there. So he at least got you a change of clothes.
We could have actually, probably. If that was the case, then we would have at least, gotten one or two changes of clothes, some actual luggage. So yeah, we probably do have something to change it to.
Canvas bag, something.
Yeah, something.
All right.
Is this room to your liking?
Yes, thank you. It's very nice.
All right, thank you. And she hands you each a key.
I'll give her a tip.
Oh, thank you. Let me give you a tip.
Okay.
If you want to make some more of this money, there's a room in the back of the bar.
Oh.
Also, then she pulls out, Jack asked me to give you these. And they're tickets to see the Great NATO.
Oh, great. Thank you.
And she wanders away.
This is starting to feel like a trap.
Yeah.
Again, I do love a magic show.
Well, I said,
who doesn't love a magic show?
Right?
This entire city is buzzing about the Great NATO.
Yeah,
I've heard good things about him.
I don't know about you guys, but when I was looking at his posters, I got a bit of the heebie-jeebies in that type of heebie-jeebies that we've been getting lately. So I think it's worth checking out.
Maybe more than stagecraft in here.
Honestly, I've realized that my usual working beliefs were pretty hypocritical. There were lots of things that I didn't believe in, but also, I believed in ghosts and things like that. And I guess some stuff in the Christian Apocrypha, which is actually kind of what we're looking for now. So maybe it's all true. Maybe it's all real. We'll just have to look out if we run into like a werewolf or a one of those ghosts that jump around.
Yep. Whites, wyverns, it's all real.
Sure. Let's I guess we can call rooms. I'll stay in this one with Doc, Valentina, and Bug Eater. You guys can take that one if that's all right.
Yeah, sure.
Works for me.
Let's get cleaned up. And does the ticket say like when the show is?
The performance is at 9:00. It's the late show.
Okay, so we've got some time. So I would say just take it easy. Like, we don't need to rush.
Yeah.
And what we probably need is rest.
Anything I can do to maybe bandage my wounds and get rid of some of this immediate damage, perhaps. For me
You can try first aid.
Yep. I think I'll try Valentino first, since I think he had some pretty good hits too.
I got a couple scrapes.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Valentino, I've been meaning to apologize for burning you.
Well,
no, I know, and I can tell that at least before. I don't know about now, but I can tell that before it really hurt. So, if and when we get back to the States, we'll figure out a way for you to sue my dad for it. Okay?
Would that be a medicine plus insight check?
Yeah, medicine plus insight.
Trying to see if any of my magic tricks really apply, and I don't know that they do.
Not in this one.
He doesn't really need stabilizing. He's not dead.
No.
What if I tried to kill him and then brought him back from the brink of death? That way I'd get an extra die.
I mean, you can try to kill him if you like.
We've got some momentum. That seems like a long way to go for one die.
Oh, okay.
Actually, we're almost
looking at here.
We're almost up to max momentum. So if you wanted to take even like a couple dice, you could.
Okay.
Yeah, it's only one difficulty.
Okay. I would say take one momentum per roll.
So would one success would remove one?
No. No. You need to roll for success, and then I will let you roll 3 dice. And then for every hit that you get on that, you can remove one point of stress.
All right. So I am gonna take aim and heal Valentino.
No, that doesn't work that way.
Hey, you just taught me how to do this. I'm just trying to help. All right, I'll burn a momentum.
Okay.
And I will heal Valentino for 1 success. Yowza.
Okay, so you got 1 success. So go ahead and also notice I was looking at your sheet, Brian. You also are pretty high on medicine. Your ability to provide first aid is not bad. You are only 1 point lower than Matthew on the ability to provide first aid. So just going to keep that in mind.
Okay. I got 3.
You have 3. So you can remove 3 points of stress from.
Unless that red one means 2.
No, it does not.
Okay.
I mean, I think it does, but it already counted it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
you may remove 3 physical stress only.
Yep.
Valentino.
Got a bandage. Got some salve on there. Aloe vera.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to try the same for myself.
Maybe rewrap my arm.
There you go.
I will burn another momentum here in the hopes that, it won't ruin the universe, but me dying in the next round would also suck.
That'll be fine.
1 success.
All right. So roll for why'd you roll 5T? I said roll 3 dice.
3?
Yeah, not 5.
I thought I had a bonus for my damage.
No, this isn't damage. This is
I have a +1 for insight, right?
That's only when you're dealing damage. So would you like to deal 3 damage too, Brian, or would you like to heal 3 damage?
But hang on. Is this not an insight plus medicine check?
It is, but you're not dealing damage.
Right. So the bonus is only damage. It's not just for things that you're doing.
It's only damage.
Well, that's not clear.
You'll note that it's a synergy bonus, right? Because you don't actually attack using insight, but your insight gives you a bonus to that attack. That's what it means.
Okay. So do you want me to reroll Brian's, or are we good? Okay. 1. So is that 2?
Okay. No, it's just 1.
Okay. What is effect?
If there was an effect on this, then you would use that effect. So in the case of like a vicious attack, then the effects count as an extra point. If you roll if you have something that has not piercing because piercing's automatic, But if you
Right.
had like an area effect, then the area effect would do spill damage onto other people in that area. So yeah, that's what the effects. That's what the effects.
Rolls will often specify when an effect can have an impact on them.
So if you
Yep.
look, for example,
First aid is one of my yellow skills. Does that give me anything or no?
Focus.
Yeah.
It would have if you had rolled lower in that one success, but at this point now.
Yeah, because if you look at what your medicine is, it's 5. So if you have rolled a 5 or less, then that would count as an extra success. It doesn't do any. It wouldn't do. It only counted towards success. It doesn't count to points of damage removed.
Right.
So you can remove. Yeah. So you can remove 1 physical stress.
Right.
And I'm making the differentiating here between physical stress and mental stress in case anyone has taken any mental stress, because that is a different kind of heal.
Right. And is there any way to differentiate that like in the sheet?
Sure. An easy way to do that is when you take physical stress, you could put a P in the box. And when you take mental stress, you could put an M in the box.
But still, once you hit your total, then you take an injury.
Then you take an injury, yes.
So how would you decide whether it's a physical or a mental
Depends
injury?
on what the attack was that led you to that injury.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Steven's been calling that out.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for example, in Brian's case, he was hit by and I was thinking about this afterwards, Rodrigo. You didn't really hit him with a Molotov cocktail because you were using a metal flask. So you kind of just hit him with an incendiary device.
Yeah, I hit him with I basically turned it into a frag grenade.
You just hit him in the face with a Coleman lantern.
He took physical damage from that, and that's what caused the injury. That was enough to tip him into that injury state, and so that's how he got the burn on his arm. If one of the Shoggoths that had attacked you in Germany, when it did its mental attack, if it had caused more than 5 points of mental damage to anybody, then you would have taken a mental injury. Like it could be any number of things, like you are only able to sleep 1 hour a night, or
you can no longer say the letter Z.
Well, yeah, no, probably wouldn't be something like that, but it would be something that can complicate you going forward. So, for example, realistically, now that Brian has a burned arm, which arm is it, Brian? Is it your right arm or your left arm?
I believe we said right arm.
Yeah. So the right arm, if that's his primary arm, he should really be taking an extra point of difficulty when he's trying to shoot somebody or stab somebody because of the pain that's in that arm.
Because of the burn.
Does that make sense? So that's what injuries can do. And so mental injuries can also do the same thing. So one of the things we haven't talked about yet, which will probably come up going forward, is if you don't get enough sleep, or for some magic users, it takes so much out of you, it drains your energy, you can actually take fatigue. And fatigue is not necessarily stress, but it reduces the amount of stress points you have. So right now, Matthew, your max stress is 10, I believe. So if you were to take a fatigue, if you were up all night and you partied and you didn't sleep at all, then instead of 9 stress points, instead of 10 stress points, you would only have 9 stress points. And the only way to clear off those fatigues is to have what we would consider in other games an extended rest of some kind. And that usually is, like a full day's rest. So that's something that can reduce your stress points as well. So there is a lot of things that kind of work against you in this game. And as you may have noticed as we've been playing, the difficulty is increasing as far as what you're attacking, but also, as you saw in this last battle, these people in the alley, they're hitting much harder as well. And these are only cult members. So who knows what's going to happen the next time you run into things. So,
and of course, also increasing is your glee every time that you light one of us on fire, because,
Oh, I didn't light anybody on fire. Rodrigo's the one that lit Valentino on fire. Meanwhile, let's go back into the action. And Valentino, you were going to say something to Dutch on him lighting you on fire.
Well, I wouldn't stress too much about it. Things happen in the heat of battle.
All right. Yeah, let's just get ready for the show, and we'll just take it slow. It's good to know that there. I mean, we already knew that the Nazis had a presence in the city, but it's good to have gotten a look at some of them.
Did we recognize that badge? Have we seen it before? Or
Yeah, that's
the black tiger guys?
I'm trying to remember which one's like the normal super weapons division of.
Yeah, I mean,
it is Nightwolf, right?
It is the Noctwolf, yes, but again, that's player knowledge, not character knowledge.
Yeah.
You guys only know them as the Dark Wolves.
Yeah, but the one that Section M knows about is Black Sun.
They know about the Black Sun, yes.
Okay. So then I'll be like, yeah, those guys are in the same group, which we don't know almost anything about,
right?
As the first super laser Nazis or super lightning Nazis that we encountered.
Mm-hmm.
So
we're on the right track or the wrong one, depending on how you look at it.
Yes, we were here expecting to try to scoop this stuff out before they got it. So here we are, about to scoop. All right, break.
All right. Anything else? Are you guys going to do anything else? I mentioned there was a phone in the room. You had said something about calling or not calling. I don't know if you're going to do that.
Yep, I'll call Section M.
Okay. Number, please.
I'll give him the number.
How may I direct your call?
I had a question about one of your products. It says here it's mostly made of goose liver pate, but Franklin wanted a turkey.
She pauses for a long moment. One moment, please. This is Brigadier Finnessy. Hello, may I help you?
Hi, Brigadier. It's
Dutch. Yes, my man. How are you? Have you made it to Egypt?
Yes, we're in Cairo.
Good.
We ran afoul of some locals, which seems unconnected at this point, but we've also seen some members of that organization that we all first encountered when we first encountered you.
He pauses for a moment. Oh, Black Sun or those wolf fellows?
The wolf fellows.
Okay, yes, we're starting to gather a little bit more information on them.
I'll wave for everybody to come in, and I'll hold the phone like we're having a slumber party.
It's complicated, and we don't know all of the particulars yet, but it appears that there is a fracture of the Black Suns. We're not really sure what it is, but there appears to be two parties in the Black Sun vying for power, and one of them has moved off into this wolf group. I think their goals are still the same, but I think they're approaching it in very different ways.
Wow.
Anyway, what did you need?
Just letting you know we've made contact with Rusty Stowe, and
very good. He's got you what you need.
Yes, he's going to. We are going. We are basically here to look for part number 1 of the rhyme. But we may have caught wind of a second one. So we are going to
artifact.
Yes.
Oh.
I think, right? Am I wrong about this?
I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe you're wrong.
I figured the control the elements one was a separate one from the one that's in the city, but anyway, we've got.
I mean, it's certainly something to follow up on.
Yeah. So we're going to, since that is something that has cropped up, we're going to follow that first.
And how did you get this information?
We came across an archaeologist named Monty Smith.
Monty Smith, and you can hear him kind of writing down. Monty Smith, doctor from where?
Valentino, where's he from?
Do I know exactly where he's from?
Yeah, sure. Make something up. He's from the United States, so you can make something up.
From Illinois.
Illinois. Okay. We'll look into him. Seem on the level.
Valentino's heard of him, but I don't know. He looks kind of like a hot dog. You know what I mean?
He seems shifty to me.
Well, be on your best behavior then, and keep an eye on him.
Yep. We'll keep an eye and we'll feel him out. What else, guys?
Yeah, there was one specific question I know somebody had asked.
Are we bringing the artifacts back to Section M, or are we merely trying to keep them out of the hands of the NAZY?
Oh, both. We don't want the Nazis to have them, but we certainly do want them. We need to keep them safe here.
I see.
This guy, Monty, seems to have his own designs for at least one.
Well, I don't know anything about him, so it could just be... Is he a Tomb Raider? Is he a fortune hunter?
Seems to be.
I would say yes from the stuff that I've seen, but it's hard to tell.
And he may not know anything about this, but keep an eye on him. We'll have our boys see what they can dig up.
He definitely seemed resistant to he seemed like he didn't seem to believe in any of the supernatural side of things. So he probably doesn't know what he's getting himself into. And we know about the supernatural stuff, and I feel like we don't really know what we're getting ourselves into.
Oh, yes, I feel that way myself sometimes.
Wait, you feel like we don't know what we're getting into?
No, I feel like every day when I wake up and I think about the horrors that the Nazis are bringing forth, it scares me.
That's good. That probably means we're still functional if we're still getting scared by this stuff.
I think the biggest problem is the Nazis have such a lead on all of this stuff, whatever it is, than we do. And it just feels like we're playing catch up. And I think at this point in the game, I don't want to be playing catch up with a bunch of Nazis.
No, I feel that. We've also had a couple mild missteps, which I think have set us back.
Yeah.
So, we have another slight lead in that there is a stage magician here who is using one of the symbols that we've come across.
No, what symbol?
The symbol of the
Luminaries.
Oh,
okay. Very good. Who's this stage magician?
He goes by the Great Nate O.
Okay, do you know anything else besides that? You can hear him trying to take notes without his Mrs. Cobblepot.
Without his secretary.
Yeah.
It's like, it just takes so long to vet a secretary.
Yeah.
Right. It's
well, especially at this high level of.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Right. It's like, oh, yeah. There's like, this has to be someone who isn't like overly trained, but also who has like no contacts with anybody that might seem suspicious at a time where everybody's suspicious. I dated a girl who had whose dad had like Yankee White clearance to work on Air Force One. And I'm pretty sure it messed me up. Like, I got investigated and I got into a couple of lists, and it wasn't even my dad. It was my girlfriend's dad.
Man.
Yes, that's all fascinating. Anything else?
I don't think so. I think that's everything.
I will look into both this Monty Smith and the Great NATO, and see if we can find anything else on any of this. Yes.
I'll get him the number for the hotel.
No, very good. Yes. Cafe of Kings, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Have you met Jack?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
You know him?
Yes, of course.
All right.
Everybody knows Jack.
Trustworthy?
Yes, everybody comes to Jack's place.
Okay. All right.
At least Matthew gets it and appreciates it.
I get it. I'm trying to role play through it here.
It's all right. It's all right.
Okay.
Sometimes your intentions as a DM don't matter a hill of beans in this world.
All right. It's all good. All right. What else?
I think that's all I have on our end. I will look into these things, and yes, I guess that's yes.
One more thing. I
Yes,
guess we should. The group that we ran into that tried to take our money is called the Order of the Crystal Skull.
Oh, that sounds like a horrible name.
Yeah. So, if you get some extra time or manpower, might as well look into that. But I don't think that one's as urgent as the other ones.
Okay, so you asked us to look into some fog. We haven't found anything out of the ordinary there. There's fog.
Mm-hmm.
What else did you ask him to look into?
We basically asked them to either extract or
right.
put someone on
Antoine,
and possibly Pontus as well.
Yes. Also, in regards to your friend Antoine, he's going to continue to do research for us. We have sent 4 or 5 men to keep watch over him. We have been in contact with Director Kane and told him that this was very important for the war effort, and he seems to be okay with us taking over parts of the library, specifically the 3rd floor, for all of our research.
That sounds great.
Yes. As far as if you get, or I should say, when you get the artifacts, I think it might be best to try to bring them to Kent, to bring them to Section M HQ.
All right.
Okay, well, we have a group looking after him. We are looking into the fog, and now I've got these other men. Anything else that you need?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, say hello to Rusty for me, and do a good job.
We'll try our best.
Click. Critical Hit Punch Hall Nazis is a production of Major Spoilers Entertainment and was produced and edited by me, Steven Schleicher. If you would like to get a behind-the-scenes making of this episode, be sure to check out the GM Roundtable Octoon Cthulhu Edition at our Patreon page, patreon.com/Major Spoilers. Each week I discuss my plans for the upcoming game session, and Dr. Brad Will is there to share his reactions and advice on how to be a better game master. I will warn you, though, there are spoilers galore in every installment of the GM Roundtable Octoon Cthulhu Edition. So, if you don't like spoilers and don't want to know what I am planning next, don't listen to these episodes. Though, I will say, if you do listen, you'll be able to see how and where the players throw a wrench into my plans, and you're also going to have greater insight into the world that's being built into this campaign. This week we got to meet Rusty Stowe, the scavenger or the scrounger for the party. He's named, of course, after Rusty Stowe, one of our fine patrons. And what if the great NATO? Oh, we'll have to tune in next week for all of those adventures. You want your name to appear as one of these NPCs in future episodes? All you need to do is become an associate producer at patreon.com/Major Spoilers. Finally, we want you to record yourself doing your best on Critical Hit and send it to us at podcast@majorspoilers.com, and your voice will join the growing chorus of fans in upcoming episodes as well. Thank you again for listening this week, and here's hoping all of your dice rolls are critical hits.
This podcast is copyright 2023 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.